Now that you know all the parts of your instrument, we're going to learn how to assemble the bassoon. The first step will be taking out the boot joint. You're going to want to grab where there are no keys or rods for you to bend. I like to grab where the tone holes at the very top of the boot joint reside. Notice there are no keys or rods that I'm putting any pressure on. With the boot joint in one hand, the next piece we will grab is the wing joint. Again, you're going to want to grab where there are no keys or rods for you to bend. With one part in each hand, you're going to assemble them. Now, the wing joint fits in this smaller hole. You have the smaller part, smaller hole. You're going to want to be careful of this whisper key lock right here and this portion that hangs off the end. This will need to go on top of that lock. So you can put the instrument in, and you should not be forcing this in any way, turning side to side slightly. Again, you can hold from this portion of the instrument or up here where there are no keys, you're not grabbing or twisting anything. Very lightly, and you can align them on your instrument. One key. The next part we'll be removing from our case is the long joint. Again, grabbing where there's minimal key work and not putting any pressure on long rods like this one, or pads and key work like this. Holding where there's relatively nothing. Now, I prefer to do this next step with my bassoon planted on the ground. You're going to take the long joint, and it's going to fit key side to key side into the boot joint. You're going to have to watch out for clacking any keys or bending anything. It should fit by itself and should not require a lot of turning motion. Very little, if any. See, be careful that these keys don't bang into each other. The front side will look like this. You're going to want to make sure this key does not bump into this key. Again, minimal turning, very little amounts. You can hold your instrument by the boot joint around this silver ring where there are no keys. And in the long joint, up here at the very top, again, where there is no key work. One of the final pieces we'll be removing from the case is the bell. This one is easier than most. Now again, with your bassoon firmly placed on the ground, you're going to grab the bell and you're going to press this key. You don't want to squeeze it, but just press it. The bell will go on top, and these keys, this one here and this small overlap, will go one on top of the other. Again, pressing lightly. The bell may take more pressure, which is where we can apply cork grease later. Turning side to side slightly, and lining the keys up, and then letting go. Now you have assembled your bassoon. Here are a few things to look out for. On some bassoons, right down here where the wing joint is, will be two small chiseled lines. They can be lined up, one on the boot joint, one on the wing joint, to ensure the parts are properly connected. Next, there should be relatively no gap between the wing joint and the long joint. On many instruments, there is what is called a body lock, which resides right here. Mine does not have one. But when the two sides, long joint and wing joint, are aligned properly, you can push the lock and the pillar will drop, ensuring that both body parts do not move freely.